MJ's the greatest, then everything after that, however you want to put it.
If LeBron is better than Steph Curry, we don't know that. It's too much delusion. Yo, we can't have top tier people being delusional. We already got everybody delusional.
Rap legends and former NBA stars aren't just debating the GOAT. They are going to battle, turning a simple argument into a street-level showdown fueled by pride, loyalty, and pure hoops knowledge. Jadakiss steps in like a guardian of history, refusing to let anyone touch Michael Jordan's throne, while Jeff Teague calmly fires back with his belief that LeBron is the most complete player the game has ever seen. Then Fat Joe erupts, almost insulted that the two icons are even being compared, blasting the LeBron crowd as if he's watching basketball history get rewritten in real time. This clash isn't about stats or efficiency, it's about dominance, fear, and legacy in a world drowning in flashy highlights and noisy opinions. And as we break down every fiery moment from this GOAT confrontation, make sure you tap like, hit subscribe, and drop your GOAT in the comments, because this debate hits different.
MJ's the greatest, then everything after that, however you want to put it.
Jadakiss doesn't bother dressing up his answer. He goes straight for the truth as he sees it. When the GOAT question comes up, he doesn't pause, hesitate, or weigh arguments. To him, it's Michael Jordan, end of story. No stat sheets, no long speeches, no on the other hand. Just Jordan at the top, with everyone else battling for leftovers. He watched MJ live, not through highlight packages or nostalgia edits, and he remembers the way defenders shrank when Jordan locked in, how games felt decided before the ball even touched the floor. Jadakiss comes from an era where greatness was earned in the trenches, not built through sponsorships, and to him, Jordan wasn't just a superstar, he was an unstoppable force with style, precision, and a hunger that felt almost supernatural. That's why he speaks with zero doubt. In his eyes, Jordan didn't just rule basketball. He reshaped it, leaving behind a shadow no one has managed to escape. That's not opinion. It's the lived truth of someone who witnessed the storm up close.
I just think LeBron the greatest. He did everything.
I think you delusional.
Jeff Teague steps in with a calm, steady confidence and lays out his stance with surgical clarity. In his eyes, LeBron stands above Jordan, not because of noise or trends, but because of unmatched longevity, all-around impact, and the heavy load he's carried since he was a teenager in the spotlight. But before that idea can even breathe, Fat Joe erupts, and this isn't casual disagreement, it's pure fire. To him, putting LeBron ahead of Jordan isn't just inaccurate, it's a dangerous rewriting of history that tramples the era that shaped basketball's soul. Fat Joe isn't arguing numbers, he's defending memory, fear factor, and the legacy that defined an entire generation. Teague sees growth and evolution, Joe sees the erasure of something sacred. And in his world, you can praise LeBron all you want, but Jordan's place is holy ground, and crossing that line means war.
Too much delusion. Yo, we can't have top tier people being delusional. We already got everybody delusional.
Fat Joe doubles down, and this is where the conversation turns raw. He's not just firing back at Teague, he's calling out an entire generation he believes has been misled by non-stop media hype. In his eyes, LeBron fans aren't seeing clearly anymore, and even former players are getting swept up in the noise. That, Joe argues, is dangerous because it's not just Jordan being forgotten, it's the truth itself slipping away. He reminds everyone that greatness isn't only measured by stats, it's defined by impact, control, and the way a player commanded the league without leaving room for doubt. And to Joe, Jordan embodied absolute certainty. 6 titles, 6 tries, 0 hesitation, 0 mercy. Joe puts it bluntly, this era mixes exposure with legacy, thinking LeBron's constant presence means superiority, when in reality, nobody has surpassed the man who reshaped the sport. His warning is simple and loud, keep rewriting the past, and we'll lose sight of what true dominance actually looked like.
At this point, we gotta compare Jordan to like Messi, or like Serena Williams.
Fat Joe doesn't dial anything back. He pushes even harder, insisting that Jordan shouldn't even be stacked against NBA players anymore. He puts MJ in a different universe, alongside icons like Serena Williams and Lionel Messi, the rare athletes who didn't just rule their sport but rose above it entirely. At first it sounds extreme, but the more you think about Jordan's cultural reach, global influence, and relentless mindset, the more Joe's point hits home. He argues that Jordan didn't just set the bar in basketball, he became the definition of greatness itself, a level neither Kobe nor LeBron has matched on a worldwide scale. Joe isn't trying to tear LeBron down, his resetting the scale to reflect what Jordan really was. In his eyes, MJ sits on the Mount Rushmore of all athletes, not just hoop legends. And if that feels offensive, maybe you never fully understood the magnitude of the man who changed everything.
No, but think about it. Bron been the man he's been the greatest player since he was 16.
Jeff Teague doesn't flinch for a second. He listens to every argument thrown his way and still stands firm, insisting that LeBron has been the greatest since he was 16, long before championships, long before records, long before passing Kareem. He points out that the pressure LeBron carried from day one would have crushed most players, yet LeBron shouldered it for 2 decades without breaking. Teague isn't arguing with emotion. He's laying out a resume built on endurance and evolution. While Jordan owned the finals with perfection, LeBron battled through constant change, new teammates, new systems, new eras, and stayed dominant every step of the way. To Teague, that isn't luck, it's greatness defined by longevity. LeBron didn't just shine in moments. He adapted, overcame, and controlled the game for 20 straight years, and that consistency is why Teague believes the crown belongs to him, not because it was gifted, but because he held it without slipping for an entire generation. Fat Joe lets the moment sit in the air before he finally steps back in, and when he does, it's with a tone that feels less like an argument and more like a verdict. He makes it clear he loves LeBron, respects his journey, admires the pressure he's carried and the greatness he's shown, but he refuses to put him above Michael Jordan. To Joe, that's not disrespect, it's clarity. He explains that LeBron's brilliance deserves praise, but praise alone doesn't earn the crown, because the crown belongs to someone who reshaped the sport from the inside out. Joe says Jordan didn't just win titles. He crushed opponents, silenced doubt, and delivered perfection on the biggest stages without ever blinking. No Game 7s, no stumbling, no uncertainty, just dominance backed by an aura that made entire teams fold before the opening tip. He admits LeBron is phenomenal, but insists Jordan operated on a level no one has touched, a level where greatness became mythology. And as Joe speaks, you can hear the heartbreak in his voice, not because he dislikes LeBron, but because he can't believe the culture has drifted so far that the comparison is even up for discussion. To him, putting LeBron beside Jordan isn't just incorrect, it's almost a betrayal of everything that era represented. Joe isn't tearing down LeBron's legacy, he's guarding Jordan's with everything he has, because in his eyes, some legacies aren't meant to be rewritten, reimagined, or debated. They are meant to be protected.
I love LeBron James. I do believe he deserves all the glory. He is not Michael Jordan.
Then comes the nuclear moment. Fat Joe drops a take so heavy it shakes the entire room. He doesn't just question LeBron's place next to Jordan or Kobe. He blows the whole comparison wide open by saying, "Y'all don't want to hear this, but we don't even know if LeBron is better than Steph Curry." The room doesn't react, it detonates. This isn't a hot take, it's an explosion. Joe points out the contradiction everyone ignores. LeBron insists he's not chasing rings, yet every major move, Miami, Cleveland, Los Angeles, was centered on building a super team to win titles. Meanwhile, Curry stayed with one franchise, built a dynasty from the inside, and beat LeBron multiple times on the game's biggest stage. Joe throws the challenge right at the audience. How can LeBron be the GOAT when he couldn't consistently beat the one superstar who defined his era? Curry didn't run, didn't jump teams. He stayed, he built, he conquered. And in Joe's eyes, that's what legacy really looks like. He's not crowning Steph the GOAT, but he's making something painfully clear. If fans are still debating whether LeBron is even above Curry, then they have no business putting him anywhere near Michael Jordan. Because Jordan never once faced that kind of doubt, never once got dethroned in his own era, and certainly never lost the league to another star. Joe doesn't just wrap up the debate, he detonates it with a wrecking ball of conviction that leaves no illusion standing. What begins as a heated conversation ends as a full-blown reckoning, a moment where every voice in the room is forced to confront what greatness really means. Jadakiss had opened the floor with the authority of a man who lived through Jordan's dominance firsthand, reminding everyone that the foundation of basketball greatness was built on raw fear, competitive fire, and a standard that never wavered. Jeff Teague countered with the modern perspective, highlighting how LeBron's 2 decades of excellence, his unmatched versatility, and his ability to evolve across eras make him a marvel unlike anything the sport has seen. But then Fat Joe stepped up, and the entire tone shifted from debate to defense. Defense of legacy, memory, truth, and reverence. Joe spoke like a man guarding a monument that the world has started treating like a tourist attraction. He He argued that greatness isn't about how many highlights flood social media, or how loud a fanbase chants a name. Greatness is about control, intimidation, command, and the kind of dominance that rewrites the psychology of a sport. Jordan, he said, didn't just win, he conquered. He walked into every arena with the weight of inevitability behind him, ending careers, silencing doubters, and collecting championships without ever letting a series reach a Game 7. Joe acknowledges LeBron's brilliance, celebrates his longevity, praises his evolution, and recognizes his talent, but still insists that LeBron's greatness exists in a different universe from Jordan's. And just when the room thinks Joe is done, he delivers the final shockwave. He questions whether LeBron even outranks Steph Curry, the man who stayed loyal, built from within, revolutionized the three-point era, and took multiple rings directly off LeBron's hands. That single idea hits the room like a thunderbolt. Because if LeBron's superiority over Curry can still be debated, how can he possibly be elevated above Jordan? By the time Joe finally stops talking, the entire atmosphere has shifted, like he didn't just share an opinion, but restored a hierarchy the basketball world had slowly allowed to fade. His words hit with the force of someone defending history, not debating it, and suddenly the room feels like it's remembering something it forgot. That greatness used to mean something heavier, something earned through dominance, fear, and unshakable results. Joe isn't here for polite comparisons or carefully packaged arguments. He's here to protect a legacy carved through pressure, perfection, and an aura no statue